Hi, this is Randy Randall of No Age and host of the podcast Hyphenate with Randy Randall. I want to welcome our newest sponsor of the show, DistroKid. DistroKid helps musicians get their music on all the major streaming platforms, and artists keep 100% of their royalties. Hyphenate listeners get 30% off at distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate. Again, that's distrokid.com/VIP/HYPHENATE. Go get your music streaming everywhere now.
Hey! Happy Monday morning.
She literally barked when it counted down to 0.
Oh my God. We were all ready, like, okay, quiet on set, and cue the dog.
Yeah. Cue Olive.
Oh my God. Did you ever see Olive the Other Reindeer? It was like a claymation thing that Drew Barrymore voiced years ago.
I don't know.
The name was
yes. Yeah. I feel like there's a kid's book that has it also, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
It's like, Olive the Other Reindeer.
Olive the Other Reindeer.
Well, welcome to Monday, April 15th, tax day. Did you get your taxes done already?
Oh, don't even. I'm not talking about it.
Okay. Taxes don't exist.
I refuse. What are those? What are those?
Oh my God. I was so late doing mine, but the accountant guy was just like, turned it around super fast. I was like, it's like the definition of getting paid for what you know, not for how long it takes you to do it. Like, he could have waited 3 months and charged me the same price as he did when he did it, turned it on 24 hours. But
yeah, totally.
It doesn't make it cost any cheaper or anything. It's like, nope. I'm happy to pay the guy.
The AI.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Tax day sucks. Let's pretend it doesn't.
Okay.
It's the anti-holiday.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, that's today. That is today's Monday. Yeah. So we feel everybody's tax boy blues.
Yes, totally. Neither one of us are wearing beanies.
I know, it's hot.
We're like on the same schedule.
It was later in the day. I switched over to today's show, sponsored by Sierra Nevada Trail Pass IPA, non-alcoholic.
Okay. Non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good on Sierra Nevada for getting into the non-alcoholic game. This is the first this just showed up at the local store.
Oh, awesome! How is it?
I don't know. Let's try it. Let's see. I'm gonna drink it on the mic. Ready?
Yeah.
Tastes like a damn beer.
It tastes like beer?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the non-alcoholic beer game has gotten so on point.
I know, it's like everybody's doing it, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's come a long way since O'Doul's.
Yeah. Do they have non-alcoholic Corona?
Yes.
Oh wow!
It tastes even worse than real Corona.
You have to put 4 lemons in it.
You might as well just put some lemonade on the side. Yeah.
Let's just not have a beer. That's their new slogan.
I mean,
just don't have a beer.
How hard are you really trying here? I know. I feel like it came around during the pandemic too, and I was like, oh gosh, this coronavirus is really hitting this Corona beer pretty hard.
They're like, we got to hit this real hard.
Yeah, do whatever we can. Non-alcoholic beer. We'll do all of it.
We got to turn this negative marketing around.
Yeah, when your brand name is in the news headlines every day for 4 years.
Oh my God,
it's they got to capitalize on it somehow.
That's the thing that ruined the world. Corona. We're not the ones that ruined the world.
The other Corona.
But we will change it for the better.
But we will taste like watered down piss.
Yeah.
And get you drunk and remind you of that time you threw up when you drank too much tequila.
Yeah. It always works. That's the thing about Corona. It always works.
It goes well with chips and sunburns and diarrhea.
Although I do remember once in Mexico having Corona and going to the store and buying. We had a bunch of people there and buying like a 24, multiple 24 packs, and drinking the Coronas and just going, are these working? I don't think these are working. I remember just like kind of drinking Coronas all day and going, I just feel tired. And
why bother?
I don't think I don't think these are real Coronas. I feel like they
you got
were
bootleg Coronas.
Well, because they
Or they could-
redo the bottles down there for everything, for
Oh,
like
yeah.
Coke and for
Yeah,
Coronas. Like they'll have like the
ring marks.
grinded
Yeah, yep.
ring marks around the outside from going through the recycling plant and everything. And so I'm like, I feel like someone just filled these up with like half Corona, half water.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure of it, actually.
Would you be able to tell the difference? I think that's.
No.
I think you unlocked the secret of their formula.
Other than the fact that we were all sitting there going like, I mean, I feel like I could very easily drive anywhere right now, and I'd be fine. And I've been drinking all day. I think that there's something wrong with this beer. I did not get in the car and drive anywhere.
Yeah, that's good.
I will.
Well, you might
preface that.
you might really enjoy the non-alcoholic Coronas then. They're pretty much like that.
They also do nothing.
Yeah, but at least it's officially do nothing beer.
Does it still give you a headache and make you tired?
No. That's
the beer.
Nice. No, that's You're lucky you get off without that.
I have like 1.5 beers now, and I get that like headache, just a little tiny like pre-hangover headache, and then I'm like, I need to take a nap, and I'm like, am I this old?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes, I am. I had like 1.5 beers. Now I'm just like, no more.
I've been so long without the alcohol, knock on wood, that I have no real hangover, like body memories anymore. After 14 years of not drinking, the idea of a hangover is so foreign to me. It's been so long, or that, like the headache thing. I've always heard it gets worse as you get older. So I think I jumped off the train before it really started, falling apart.
Yeah, you got out early. You got out early. I definitely started noticing the like beer and a half hangover started happening. I was like,
that's not fair.
I'm gonna have like a drink at dinner. I mean, I've never been able to drink wine anyway, so I'm like, I'll have a beer or I'll have like a cocktail, and then waking up in the morning and going like, oh, my shoulders hurt, kind of. And getting up, I'm like, do I have a hangover after one drink with like a
dinner?
full meal? I'm like, oh no.
No,
and it just started happening. Like at one point it just started happening. And
that's hilarious.
Have 2 beers, go out with some friends, and then by the time I get home, I have a hangover.
Oh.
It's just like a headache.
What's the point?
Just like that, like gnawing, just like a miniature gnawing headache.
Oh my God.
At like 9:30 at night.
It's not worth it. I'm telling you. So
this is no fun.
Try the NA. You get the flavor. You're out social.
I don't even like the flavor. I'll just have an apple juice or whatever. What do old people drink? Apple juice?
Prune juice. I think
apple juice
keeps you regular.
Coors Light.
Yeah.
I feel like every older person who I know who's in their 60s who still drinks either is like very fine wine or Coors Light. And there's nothing in between.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like no beers. Like I feel like middle, like nice beers and stuff, that doesn't go for older people. Like older people are like,
no, the craft beers, usually, that kind of stuff. They don't want that. No.
Like fancy beer, you're done with fancy beers by the time you're in your 50s.
Yeah.
And you're either like, hey, if I like beer, I'm drinking beer and it's going to be like economical. And I'm going to like, I need it to be as least fattening tasting. Like it doesn't like when you have a Guinness, like it feels like you're just like, okay, this tastes good, but you're
drinking a loaf of bread.
It just hurts.
Yeah.
But you're Coors Light, you're like, well, I guess I'm probably getting just as fat. I'm probably getting as much of the fattening aspects of whatever is fattening about the beer, the sugar content, all that stuff. But it doesn't feel like it. It feels freeing. It feels nice and although a lot of people in the last couple of years drink those the seltzers.
Wow.
What are those?
I haven't had the hard seltzers. No.
Oh my God.
It's like Zima warmed over. I missed all of that. Yeah.
You're so lucky you got out of the alcohol game when you did.
I tapped out with Four Loko and Sparks.
I feel like when Sparks hit, you were lucky. You're like, you know what? I'm out. I'm done.
I've seen the light. If this is what drinking's coming to, I'm on out now.
Alcohol consumption has hit its high point in our culture. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. I went through the Red Bull and vodka phase and I was like, okay, this might go away.
No.
And then that just turned into Four Loko, and it just went.
Never again.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we went to that bar for both of our wives were part of like a social group, an online social group, and they somehow tricked all the husbands into meeting up at the bar.
Yes.
I could not hang with that. I remember it's funny as you're talking about having a beer out or something. I'm like, when was the last time I was even at a bar to like hang and like, that'd be the kind of thing you'd do. I didn't drink then, but I think I had a Coke or whatever. But just that idea of like, oh man, I see you. I think you might have known more of the people than I did, but I literally was just standing around. I think you and I were talking, and then like we should take a picture. And literally like 50 guys, like the whole bar was the dads, but I thought they were all strangers. Like I was talking to you, and then the whole bar stood up and went and took a picture. I was like, oh no, I was supposed to be talking to all of these people. Like, how am I supposed to socialize with an entire bar?
Yeah. By the way, dad's social club, not a thing. It will never be a thing because all the dads are like, can we do something? Is there like shuffleboard or something? Or at least are there like cornhole? Or can we play darts? I mean, there's got to be something to do, right? Like, no, you guys just here to hang out and talk about your kids. Like,
that's what pickup is for. That's what the school pickup is for.
Yeah, this is why we all.
This is why sports were invented.
Horrible, like old people soccer leagues where everybody just gets hurt, wrecked. But they're like, this is like the only way we can communicate is to try to take each other out, take each other's knees out, and almost get in fights.
That counts as exercise too. You can do that way. Yeah,
it's very cathartic.
Oh my god!
It's either that or you get into a cover band.
Yeah, that's probably more likely the path I'm going to go down. Like, we should just play a couple, because what it starts off is like, we should start a band, and then you realize nobody wants to write a song, or nobody likes writing songs. So then you're just like, well, let's just do a couple of covers. And then it just turns into a cover band. A couple months in, if you're still playing, like, okay, does everybody play the song everyone knows? We'll just have more fun that way.
You like Creedence?
I do like Creedence a lot, actually.
Yeah. Like, oh, interesting. That's probably pretty easy to play, right? Everybody knows those songs. Everybody can sing along to those songs.
Do. Oh my god, I would love to join a Creedence cover band. If anybody wants to start a Creedence cover band with me in the greater Los Angeles area, I'm in. We get flannels, dumb haircuts.
You could play up here during the summer. Big cover band season.
Wow.
We get some good ones. Last year we got Guns N' Roses cover band.
But they all have like the punny names, though, right? You gotta have like a punny name.
Yeah. That would have. It probably would have been like
Appetite for Construction. They're all construction workers.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Appetite for the Jungle or something like that.
Yeah.
I do like Appetite for Construction.
What's the use your illusion, use your illustration degree? The art cover band. The art school dropouts.
Yes, totally. Use your illustration.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Use your illustration degree. Well, this week we are here to talk about Devon Williams. Yeah. Did you know Devon when he lived here? When did you first meet Devon, or what was your Devon story?
I mean, I don't know if I have a specific Devon story. Devon was one of those people that I would just see around all the time because of the company that we all kept. Yeah. But I feel like that was before. It was funny when you were talking about playing in a band with him, because I definitely didn't know you then. Okay. So I didn't know that history. So that was interesting to hear, like you playing in a band with him. And I love his God. I do feel like that happens a bit in LA, that like the nonchalant person gets all the stuff at some point. Oh yeah. It's just like, I don't know, I don't care. It's whatever. I just started this thing and someone's like, hey, you want to be on Epitaph? Like, I mean, I guess I don't really care, but I guess so. Sure, and then it's like, oh, cool. Kids love that. Or whatever. Yeah. Like I do feel, I was trying to think of some other people, but I know that there's definitely other people in LA that like we're very talented people. And then we're just like, I don't want any part of this. And people are like, "Ooh, we like that guy." Yeah, what is over here? I feel like the smart list guys have like sexy differential, or no, sexy what do you call that when you're just like, whatever, I don't care. Like what's the word? Are indifferent. Sexy indifference. Sexy indifference goes a long way. I think it makes people go like, wait, did you say you hate us? I like this guy. He's so indifferent. Huh.
You know?
You don't go for my bullshit either? Okay, that's respectable.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
you're the
is a
first
good
one in a while.
that
Come
is a
over
good
here.
trait to
Yeah.
I did not have that at that age. I had unattractive enthusiasm, I think is what I had.
I just had complete idiocy.
That's
Like
good
I
too.
knew nothing. I just kind of said yes. I would be like, oh, that looks fun. How do I get over there? And then you talk to someone and you're like, yeah, sure, I could do that. And then you talk your way into something that you absolutely can't do. And you're like,
Oh
oh
shit.
wait,
In over my head syndrome.
this seemed way easier than it turned out to be.
Yeah. I
Well,
said yes without knowing what I was saying yes to.
yeah,
Ah,
I
okay.
guess I'm here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out for a while.
It was so. I think we get into it in the interview with Devon, but I was so shocked to find out like he'd already he had a band, an Epitaph, and they toured and did everything. It was like, why are you working at a record store? Like, why are you doing why aren't you just doing that all the time? I couldn't understand how you'd go from that to doing anything else. It seemed like he won the lottery like at a
Yeah,
young age. But hearing his telling of the story, there was more to it than that. But in
I
my
like
mind,
him.
that was the win. He won.
Yeah, I like him getting just thrown into like, yeah, and then so our first tour we were opening up for No Effects. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. And you guys are like 16, 17,
Yeah.
18, whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Like every
Yeah.
dumb band I ever had, or whatever backyard party played, like we were killed for that. That was the whole point. You know what I mean? We were playing No Effects
Yeah.
covers and like, yeah, they're doing
Yeah.
the real thing.
Oh, well, I know. I have
yeah.
two of my friends, James and Lewis and Ariel were in this band, the Hippos. Do you remember that band?
Oh yeah.
They were like
were they like a Christian
high
or
school
like
kids.
were
No,
they
they were high school kids. They were in it was a ska band. It's like
ska?
punk
Okay.
band. But it was like the same thing. but it was like late 90s. So it was before I met them.
Okay.
And they had already, by the time I met James in like 2000, right when I moved here, he was like one of the first people I met or moved to LA. And he was, and they had already like opened up for No Doubt. And they had like gone on all these crazy tours and they had already done all this insane stuff. And then I met them when they were like 20.
Oh no.
Or 19 or something.
Yeah, burned out.
But they were still like, they had a band and then they had another band. Oh my God. Now I'm forgetting the name of it. Dirty Little Secret. But they had to change their name like 3 times because they just played around LA and now Ariel is a big producer.
Oh, funny.
He did like Vampire Weekend and bunch of other stuff.
Oh, really?
A lot of big stuff, yeah. But
funny.
But they were like they had already like gone on tour and stuff when they were in high school.
Okay.
I was like, wow, wait, what? You guys did what? You opened for who? 4 years ago? Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So funny. Like ska, ska of it all.
Yeah, and then Lewis and James are pretty like they do. They produce music as well, and then they do like scores, like TV scores and stuff.
Oh, hilarious! That's what you get if you knew how to play. If you could read music and play trumpet in a ska band.
Yeah, totally. And they're just like grew up music kids, LA music kids. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, I think No Doubt's just did a reunion this weekend at Coachella.
Oh, really? Yeah. Is Coachella this weekend?
Yeah, this last weekend that just happened. Not the one that's. Well, I don't know. Are they doing it 2 weekends in a row still?
I think they do too. That's funny. God. It showed this happened last year that I got nothing. I got nothing like on my feed. I got nothing about Coachella. And
You've officially aged out of even like being confused. They don't even bother confusing you anymore. You're just like, nope, don't know.
I'm like aged out of Coachella. I'm like,
you can't even complain.
Completely miss.
Yeah.
I completely miss all of Coachella.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
But even your kids don't notice it. It's not on their radar. They're not asking to go.
No, they're not old enough yet either. I mean, Lila's 15, so she's like getting. She'll probably start
a couple more years.
They're like 17, 18. They'll probably get all the marketing stuff. I
just get all the memes. That's how I know. I just get all the shit talking and the jokes about it.
I'm not even on. I don't think I'm on music Instagram anymore. I've been like, I've been
So far off.
I've been put off to the side of even music Instagram. All I get is like snowboarding and animal videos.
You're
That's it.
you're better off. You're better off for that. Yeah.
Cats. I get cats cuddling with like baby ducks, and then I get like people shooting off of huge cliffs. That's about it. There's not much in between.
I think
cars. Somehow I got in custom cars.
Oh.
For like a month. I was getting, but like the craziest, like some clubs in Japan.
That sounds like
making
fun.
like vans that look like Hot Wheels, but like huge Hot Wheels basically. And like these super lowered cars that are so low that people are like dragging on the floor when they're driving the cars. Like all this crazy stuff. And then that stuff went away. So I don't know. I don't know what. They don't know. Instagram doesn't know what to do with me.
No. Well, I think my own personal Instagram feed, I think, is just turned into notifications of this show, like my tiles that I put up every week.
You get your own. I've noticed your own notifications to you.
I noticed by my own feed, like I don't even like I haven't posted like I just posted a random picture today just because I was like I got to put something else up there. I looked at my thing on accident. I went to my page. I'm like, oh, the last like 5 weeks have all just been the one picture for this thing. Like, oh
yeah.
But I'm in that zone where I don't have a lot of stuff, a lot of pictures to post. I mean, it's most of my kids, pictures of my kids doing silly stuff and then screen grabs of things I want to remember later. If I look through my photo roll, I don't have like, hey, I was at this cool bar, hanging out with these cool people doing cool things. I don't even have like cool food pictures.
You got to start a meme page.
I know.
Start memeing.
I know.
Big memes.
That takes a lot of time, I think. I don't know. I don't think I'm that funny.
You take other people's memes.
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking
you don't make your own memes.
Right.
What are you, crazy? What's time for that? We're not millennials. I don't have that kind of humor.
There was definitely time. The last couple tours, there's a lot of time, a lot of dumb time to kill. I tried making some memes, and I would say like 1 out of every like 50 were actually funny. The rest of them just kind of like that doesn't make any sense.
How do you even do it though? Because I feel like people like collect. This is great because I feel so old right now. I'm like, how do you make a meme? But because you have all of the you have your 20 main meme photos, right?
Right.
Like that are the photos, like the guy looking behind him with or the girl looking behind her and the guy. Like you have.
I didn't do that. I didn't do those ones. You can get like an app called like a meme generator that I think has all that stuff in there and it has the white letters with the black outline. I think I was
pay like $10 a year or something.
I don't even know if you had to pay anything, but it was there's those kind of things. I think I was mostly like the misidentifying things or the like
like a family photo and you're like, here's Ozzy Osbourne and the
I think I posted a picture of Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt during the Vampire Weekend when they were in that Vampire Weekend movie, whatever the vampire thing was, but they looked like Kurt Cobain and Chad Kroeger. They just looked like bad 90s guys, so I liked that did well for me. But,
speaking of Kurt Cobain jokes, I did like how Devon said that he tried to play a Nirvana song thinking it would be cool in Olympia in the late 90s. They completely this whole thing just shunned. I love the lack of humor in like kind of lefty indie culture where there's a very like narrow band of humor that works, and then when you're like, hey guys, I got a joke, and then everyone goes, whoa, bro,
too soon.
We do not like you don't know you don't play Nirvana because we know that we loved Kurt Cobain. We don't know that we loved Nirvana because everybody else loved Nirvana, so we don't know why you're playing this song. If you're making a joke out of it, that's bad. But if you're playing it seriously, that's even worse. There's no way to play.
You can't acknowledge this. It's
kind of true. Is there any way to play a Nirvana cover
with Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic? That's the only way you can play a Nirvana cover.
It really is, right? Like if you're Kim Gordon at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you can sing a Nirvana cover with Pat,
the remaining members, the surviving members
Chris.
of it. Yeah, that's the only time
Pat, Dave, and Chris, and that's the only time you're like, okay. And even then, there's probably still 5% was like, I don't know.
That's the only time anybody will ever say, "Cool, you're playing a Nirvana song."
Yeah.
as if you're
Is
playing it
that
with
weird?
Nirvana. Yeah.
Is that the only band? Beatles is tough. Beatles is tough.
I mean, just that it's cool to play a cover of. I mean,
No,
Beyonce
it's
just
not.
had a.
Like, it's not cool. Like you
Oh,
just, there's no way to play a cover song without it being completely like polarizing.
where everybody just hates it, or
I mean, like, what
yeah.
if you played like a Nirvana song that was from like the Outcesticide, like some like really crazy old,
I don't
and you
think.
turned it
I don't think they're.
acoustic?
Oh God, I don't know. This
Is
is
it
a slippery
possible?
slope. Of course. Oh yeah. Well, there was some guy Stained or somebody that did a Nirvana cover recently, and I feel like you'll get because I think it's all so much time has passed. I think I'm sure if like Olivia Rodrigo or somebody did a what I mean,
Oof.
like a serious take on something or sad slowed down version with like strings or something. The Batman movie used that Nirvana song "Something in the Way" as like basically the
Yeah,
theme of the whole
but not a
movie.
cover though.
No, but it sounded like a cover. I mean, it's
Oof.
like who cares at this point?
What if Fugazi
Oh no, you
covered
know
a
what?
Nirvana song?
No, well, the
That would work.
the
I think it would.
Moulin Rouge did a Here We Are Entertain Us did that Teen Spirit. Do you remember that one? I think that was Moulin Rouge.
Oh my God, I think you're right.
I think they did that. Yeah, I mean, whether it's in good taste or poor taste, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. Who will ever know? I think it's
Don't
more
touch
like
it. Don't touch it, kids.
it's too hot.
It's too hot.
Too hot.
Way too hot.
Too hot. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I just think I think the level of irony, that was once like considered fashionable has just changed. It's just not that anymore. It's a whole other.
Yeah.
There's an earnestness that I think is very applauded. You know what I mean? If whoever can be the most earnest with something is seen as
But
somehow of holding value rather than like an ironic take on it.
yeah, and irony just became uh like depression. Like it became so ironic that it became everyone's like, I don't know, man. We can't even be ironic anymore because it's just sad at this point. Like you're trying to be ironic about something and you're like, now I don't know, I feel bad. It's like, it's too much. There's too much out there to be
Yeah.
ironic.
Well, it's like low hanging fruit or something, or it's just, I don't know. I don't know. We're definitely, it's definitely, it's like a Grandpa Simpson's joke. Like I used to be with it, then they changed what it was. And now whatever it is sad and scary. And it happened to me and it'll happen to you. This will happen to everyone else.
That the Simpsons really did predict everything.
Yeah,
it is true. They really did.
Yeah, I think all those guys were. That's they were all smart Harvard grads who were probably getting a little older themselves, in the early '90s, and just had that take on whatever the hip, the hipster growing old in the early '90s was. That Gen X, right in there. But then they also all became billionaires and then just kind of like left it alone for about 20 years. Yeah. And then they hired new writers.
Well, or they are all in the Illuminati, and so they were just writing the script.
They
were writing the script for the future, which is probably more realistic, Randy.
You're right.
I mean, come on, let's get real here.
Oh my God. I just saw a conspiracy theory that Brittany Murphy, the actress, died of black mold in her house because she died of pneumonia and anemia. And then 4 months later, her husband also died of pneumonia and anemia. And then Britney Spears owned the house before them, but said it was haunted and had to leave. But then
Britney Spears did?
Yeah. Britney Spears sold the house to Brittany Murphy. And she lived there for 6 years, and they were saying there was all black mold. The house was covered in black mold, but in the inside of the wall, and it like eventually killed the two of them.
Were those the years that Britney Spears started becoming like?
I think so.
Her own type.
Maybe it was black mold.
Wow, it could have been all black mold.
Yeah, I know. Who knew, right?
Mold wins. I've always said that.
Yeah, mold will always win.
Mold, you guys.
They say cockroaches will be around forever. It's mold. As long as there is moisture, as long as there's some kind of like water in the atmosphere, mold will win.
Cockroaches, mold, and
spores and fungus.
Spores. Yeah.
I collect molds and spores and fungus. That's for the late Harold Ramis from Ghostbusters. That was what he.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh my god. We have too many.
Sorry.
You have too many
tabs open in my brain.
Pop culture. Yes, that's exactly the perfect way to put it. I'm like, where'd that one come from? I just said mold, then you brought up Ghostbusters. Jesus. That's perfect.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this can tell the difference between a morning record and afternoon evening record. These evening ones get real loopy real quick.
Yeah. Real loose.
No, I feel like there's definitely something wrong with my brain where I have too much pop culture like go-tos too quickly. I feel like I could probably speak in all like Simpsons quotes for years. Yeah.
That's not a negative thing, especially now. This is something that will propel you forward through the human DNA. Like this is like, oh, he's definitely staying alive because he remembers all the nonsensical stuff. Like he's got the perfect brain for the future. Keep him alive. Let's go.
I have plenty of room for random knowledge that has nothing to do with my own survival.
But it's not even full yet.
There was something, we were watching something and Shannon, my wife, was saying, she's like, there's no way you can remember this. And I like recounted the entire plot of the film. I was like, you were there. We saw it together at the same time. She's like, yeah, but I can't, there's no way there's anything of value to remember that. There's no reason you should remember all of those details and characters and subplots. I'm like, I don't know. This is the brain I was given. I don't know what else. I try to use this power for good.
Trust me, there is a way, and it happens. It happens every time.
But this, I mean, I legitimately feel like I was prepared and trained to work at video stores and music stores. And with the fact that those don't
have a podcast,
maybe that's it. The fact that those don't exist anymore has driven me to the pod. I did not choose the pod. The pod chose me. I have no one else to talk about random popular culture with. So sorry, Aaron. I do this to you.
Oh, I love it because I'm the opposite. I don't remember anything.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
I don't remember. This actually comes up in the interview of when you guys are talking about lyrics.
Oh yeah,
and how I loved it. It was a slightly uncomfortable moment because I feel like neither one of you knew. You're like, you're like, I don't know, lyrics. How can you even write lyrics? I don't even get it.
This is pointless bullshit. And he's like, that's the whole thing I do. That's the only reason I write a song.
And he's like, well, you have feelings and you write a song and you're not fixing anything, but you're getting it out there. You're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get lyrics. It's like you're just saying a bunch of words and it just, just if it sounds good, it sounds good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in between. That's why I love it because I don't know. I'll do like the whole thing now. I don't know if you know this, but younger people, when they watch television, they have to have the subtitles on.
Why?
Everyone has it just is a thing. Like our daughter.
Isn't it distracting them? Are they reading them?
Subtitles on for everything.
Do they turn the audio off? Is the audio still on?
Audio is like low, and maybe it's so you can do other stuff and you can read it. I don't know. But now our TV's always on subtitles, and so sometimes I'm so used to it now. We'll be watching a show, and it'll be on, but I won't even notice. But you're kind of reading along, and then a song comes up, and the lyrics of the song come up, and you realize, that I had no idea what the lyrics were for this song.
Yeah,
I've heard it a billion times, and I'm like, oh my god, that's what that song says. But then the other thing is like, how many song, what do you call it? Music supervisors are putting songs and matching the lyrics of the song.
Oh, right. To exactly what's happening.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me. Like I always think like the music goes with it, the vibe. I'm very much about the vibe of most things. Like no details here. I have a real hard time.
Broad strokes, just real broad. Yeah,
like a cloud of information, and as long as the cloud is kind of the same shape and looks, I'm good with it. I'm fine. And I'm reading the lyrics, and I'm like, oh my god, this song is the same
about the thing that's happening.
That is like, It's like, get in the car, we're gonna go far. And then they're getting in a car and they're driving real far. And
Oh, I hate that.
I'm like, oh my God, I don't like it
That
either.
bothers me
So I
to
turn
no
it off. I'm
end.
like, I
Yeah,
can't watch it. I
bullshit.
can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's thinking of lyrics when they're thinking of a movie? I need music for a vibe. I don't need another whole set of
Extra data to
lyrics
process.
and words. I don't need any more words. There's already enough words in this movie.
Yeah. They already have the dialogue. That's Oh, it's too much. It's all too much. Because I feel like it's just lazy at some point too. Just like let the song tell you what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never even thought of like putting a song like doing "Welcome to the Jungle" and there's someone like running through the jungle, you know?
Or what about the song "Run Through the Jungle" by Creedence Clearwater Revival?
Yeah, and they can both, and then they're both happening at the same time, and they're going back and forth. And like, let's Google jungle songs. Okay, let's do the top 10.
Oh my no,
George of the Jungle.
No, I mean there's legit movies in the past like 10 years that do exactly that. It's every 5 minutes there's another song that just does exactly that's telling you what's happening in the scene, and then they get another song, and they're in. It's like I think the was that first Suicide Squad was like that. You know, the one with Will Smith. It was just horrendous, horrible. I mean, I think it got chopped up. I think it was there was a movie at some point that the director was trying to make, and then the studio hired a trailer house, people that cut trailers, to then re-edit the movie. So the whole movie looks like it's a hour and a half long trailer with like graphics and things coming in, and like the first 30 minutes of the movie, you don't know if the movie started yet or if it's going to have another title sequence happening. It's horrendous, and it's all just needle drops. Like they must have spent as much money on the music as they did on the whatever special effects.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's horrific. Yeah, I mean, there's so much just stuff that's just I feel like Creedence, has like 4 or 5 songs that are all Vietnam War like stand-ins. Like whenever you're going to talk about something about the Vietnam War, it's just that song comes up, and then you're just there's so many signifiers or song like this song gets used ever again for something to say this, and I think that's a lot of what it is. It just becomes lazy shorthand either from the studio or from the music supervisor or the editor. Like just put the thing in so that everyone knows what we're doing here, because why like we've seen it done many times. Like exactly, there was some statistic that Sympathy for the Devil has been used like so many times in films, and Martin Scorsese has done it more than once.
Yeah.
You're just like, you think like you're the same director. You can't use the same song in another movie, right? I mean, you would think that
it worked last time.
Yeah.
It's going to work this time.
I don't know. There's definitely, for as much as I love music and I love movies and I love music in movies, it's also with that, awareness of it. It's just the amount of times it's just annoying. You're just like, it's just so obvious. You're just so like, oh, okay, you guys really, this could be done. You could do so many things and have it done well, but you were doing none of those.
Well, I do feel like most movies are made about movies. They're about like movie making, right? Like if you're making like a Vietnam War or a war movie now, those directors are going to go to the past 10 most successful war movies,
right?
And go like, well, they did this in Full Metal Jacket, and they did this in da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I think music maybe has gotten to that place now too, where there's just so much to choose from, and so much to be like if you're making music, then you've had a whole lifetime of being influenced by every kind of popular music that you listen to, and so you're gonna make whatever it is, and you can't really get away from that. Like you can't get away. I mean, I can't get away from listening to new bands and go like, oh, this sounds like a new version of Payment. Oh, this sounds like a new version of Built to Spill. Oh, it sounds like, because there's just only so many sounds, I think, that can happen. Whereas like maybe even in the 90s, like there was so much less music that you could have gotten influenced by. Right. Like even that.
Yeah.
So you're actually influenced by maybe traveling, or you're like influenced by like maybe you're influenced by movies, or you're influenced by some kind of like really weird genre that stuck out to you when you were in high school and you were in the 70s. And it was so hard to get stuff that everything was a little bit more like maybe like you're like even say Devo making music in Ohio when they're kids and they only have so many, they're local, and then they have like just a couple of little drops of like whatever's happening in popular culture, and then a little bit of punk and a little bit of this and that, and then like, okay, we're gonna put together this weird band that sounds like nobody, and there's still no one that sounds like Devo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then now it's like, I've listened to every genre. I listened to every genre just today.
Yeah. And here is my band. Listen to me now.
Yeah. And I think it's
know.
tough to make something that's not so, what do you call it when you just take from everything else?
Pastiche.
So
collage.
Yeah, like a collage of
simulacrum.
Of everything.
I don't know.
Because there's so much, like you can't get away from everything. Like there's no one that was just like, oh man, I'm just from this little town. I never heard of Dr. Dre. I never heard of 50 Cent. I never heard of Led Zeppelin. I never heard of like all this stuff. It's just like, oh no, I've heard of all of it. Yeah. Lila was playing some crazy random Kate Bush song for me today. She's like, yeah, no, this is cool. I just, I found it because, she sings that one song that was in Stranger Things. And so I was like, oh, what other songs does she sing? It's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's difficult. I think it's difficult for anybody to make anything. I think that's why that like Everything Everywhere All at Once, like when a movie like that comes out and everyone just goes, and it still is talking about 80s movies, and it still has like Jamie Lee Curtis, and it still has like all of those things, but you have to go so crazy and so weird, and then people go, oh yeah, okay, this is original. That's original. I've never seen hot dog fingers before. That was a new one.
I mean, yeah, I think the cynical side of me just kind of gets I don't know, get nihilistic with this kind of stuff, because I really just do think we're at the like point of some type of singularity where there's just going to be like a reset button and all knowledge will be reset or something somehow. Like, you know what I mean? We're just, it's like, okay, it's just too much. Not that knowledge is too much, but the self reflexivity of it all. It's you know what I mean? Just twist yourself around into a pretzel until your story's about you thinking about a story, about a thing, and about a thing, about a thing. The postmodern, existential crisis of everything. I honestly think we're not there. There's a hopelessness in any real future, in any real progression, with what is possible in our human lifetime.
Yeah.
That in order to keep us running on a treadmill or some kind of gerbil, exercise wheel, we can only be looking back at ourselves. Because I think any real external contemplation and futurism, it just comes up like so dark. With global warming and with the kind of the rise of fascism and this police state type of, digital police state and feudal economy, global feudal economy system, that just doesn't seem like the point. What's the point of new thought and looking forward and having some kind of dissenting opinion and or positive build out towards that? Because it was in the past, I think of those, what would happen is, you get a parable or a fairy tale in which there is a sense of reporting about the current situation, but done through fantastical elements, right? Yeah. You take the whatever, the dragon is really the king, and he eats everybody and he has 10 wives. So then that's what the dragon does, and we disguise it slightly, all that kind of stuff. But I think, we're at the point where it's like I don't know. It's everything's so available to us, and I think everyone's so hyper aware of what's happening that we've established some sort of pocket dimension that we're calling entertainment. That is like the my metaphor of like, just a mirror, social media as a mirror. You can just glamorize your own asshole all day long, and everybody's got a picture of their own butthole that they just show to themselves all day long. It's just because outward vision is really seen as pointless, or it's being portrayed that way. There's nothing good can come of that. So why not? You don't look outside. Pay no attention. It's like Wizard of Oz kind of stuff. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That's my take on it. It may be dark, maybe isn't the fun, quippy sort of thing, but I just honestly, there used to be things that were the stories that were about like what's going to happen in the future. What do we have to remember? What do we take forward? What is this? What is that? And I think the only thing you see now is these like Lone Wolf and Cub sort of series. And it's going to be one man and a child, which is meant to appeal to some sort of sense of like chivalry or something like, oh, well, I'm the lone man out there. And you look at this kind of the dialogue of like right versus left and progressive versus conservative, and we got to protect ourselves or we got to celebrate diversity, but none of it really is talking about what is actually happening and what is going to happen in the future. It's these types of showboating and trying to peacock around like, here's what my values are, here are my values, I value this, you value that, and it's like, no, none of this is working anymore.
Well, you know what I think you're right. And I think that it is interesting that whenever anybody ever does like a movie about the future, that it's always just nihilistic, like insanity. But that also, like being in school all day, like with kids, totally the same as when we were in school.
Yeah.
25, 30 years ago. It's the same. Like the kids are just like fine, and then they're not fine, and then they're having a breakdown, and then they're like worried about who their friend is dating and like what shoes this person is wearing and like, and even like history, it's pretty much the same. Math, pretty much the same. We have like some computer classes and the kids go on Chromebooks, but other than that, like the day to day is so similar to when we were in high school. And it is weird, or junior high, middle school, whatever. People are more accepting of people.
Which is good.
I would imagine 30 years ago in this little tiny town, being gay or non-white is probably like a much bigger deal than it is now.
Yeah.
Socially, but so those types of things. But even, one of the kids, they're seniors in one of the classes I was in today, and she's like talking to one of the other kids. And they're talking about what they're going to do after school, and she's like, "Well, I mean, the low price for a 1-bedroom apartment is $2,300 a month." She's like, "How am I supposed to even make $2,300 a month?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." like that's a lot of money for people who've been working for a long time, not just for someone getting out of school. I think those are going to be the bigger things, is that like concentration of wealth. And I think that like the movies and the everything else is always, it's never written by poor people, right? So that even the or maybe it's written by poor people, but it's never produced by someone who doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
Right. Like maybe it's written by someone who doesn't have any money, but that those things get picked up, and then all of that stuff gets produced. Like even, I'm still in school for the next couple months, and I have to watch these like things that different thinkers do about teaching and about like how kids, how they learn and disciplinary problems and all these things. And they're all coming from these like half of them are coming from these kind of like Silicon Valley think tanks, of like, or like this person that's doing like global education reform or whatever. And the way that they talk, and I'm like, oh my God, I can tell you've been like a marketing director at a huge agency for years, because like the words and the way that you speak has so little like emotion.
Oh God.
And it has like a presentation vibe, and it's like, and I just kept thinking like, we learn all these things especially all this stuff, we learn all these things about about, how to deal with kids that are having discipline problems, and how to deal with, like, learning how to, be empathetic with a student who has a tough childhood and their families, and all these things. And I'm like, do these kids ever get taught how to deal with adults? Because I feel like that might be a huge problem, that all these kids have these adults in their life that they don't know how to talk to anyway. And then they have all these teachers that have 140 kids a day and don't have time for all of their emotions and everything else. And those kids are just like, well, this person hates me too, so whatever.
Mm.
And I'm like, and I was looking through all this stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't think, and again, this was like last week, just watching all these things. I'm like, no one's talking about, like, teaching the kids how to like communicate with adults. It's only how the adults, like, figuring out how to deal with these kids that have problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and I was like, I think that a lot of that is also what happens with media, with photo, or with art, with all these things. It's all top down, because all the money, because you need that money to survive, especially now.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, of course I need to be with the biggest place that's doing the biggest stuff, that's going to give me the most money. And then so everything is top down. And so then even when coming back to the podcast.
Hi, welcome to the
Devon.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hello. But when he was talking about, he was like, I don't want to think about money and music in the same conversation anymore, because I feel like it ruins my music. And I feel like there's other ways to make money. And I'm just going to right now separate those two things. And I'm going to treat my music as a completely separate entity. And I think that, and then he's talking about living in Denmark. Is it
Yeah.
Denmark? And he's like, yeah, they have, like, the government will, subsidizes artists here. And they're like, I'm just a sculptor. And I get subsidized and I sculpt. And you're
That's
like,
great.
yeah, that's probably how it should be for, like, I feel like we have a lot of money that could go to those things, and not, we could get into any number of political situations where
Oh,
where money may be much more well spent on the people who need it here, and that may solve a good amount of problems.
yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
So I do feel like our evening podcasts go more, like, a little darker.
We're going hard in the paint.
Darker,
Yeah, versus the, like, hey, all right, coffee, man. Wow.
Yeah.
We got to.
I feel like Devon will like this.
The end of the day. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a lot of fun talking with Devon, just because I had known him for so long, and it was fun to kind of get to check in, because, like, he's been living overseas now for a while, and hadn't really caught up with him in a long time since we kind of turned into adults, went from being random wild children running around to fathers with children.
That is weird, huh?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's ridiculous.
I love all those conversations.
Yeah. Well, he remembered more stuff than I did too. So we're getting into drinking stories and all these other dumb things. I was like, wow, this is great. I'm so glad we talked.
Yeah.
Definitely awesome. filled in the parts of my life that were spent blacked out. Like, oh, that's what I did. Oh, okay. I remember this.
I do like how he was like, wow, I've got some stories I shouldn't tell. And you're like, no.
This is the time. Yeah, but I want to know.
I don't remember them.
Who else are you going to tell? Who else is going to give a shit if you tell them or not? Yeah. Let me know what happened.
They're like, we're trying to make this podcast popular. Let's go. Let's get some of these. Let's get some of these stories out there.
Yeah. Oh, I know. There's these There's what is it called? The I don't know, like, just like sober podcast, people, telling terrible stories, things they did. And I feel like I would never be good on that, because I don't remember what I did. That was the kind of drunk I was. I was like, I was told I did all these things, but I couldn't be the one to tell you. I don't even know I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I luckily remembered everything. So then I was like, it kept me at bay.
Yeah.
To a certain extent for the majority of the time.
Oh, it's good. All right. Well, this is a good one. I will see
Awesome.
you next Monday. I think we
Yeah.
have Alice Sandel coming up this Thursday. She is a singer, songwriter, and educator. She teaches
awesome.
lessons on songwriting. She's a member of this great band, Lacero. No, not Lacero. God. The name of her band is
Edit.
Edit
This is
here.
where you edit-
Oh my God.
edit in.
What are they called? Not Lacera. Lacera was the other band. Alice Sand. Oh my God. Sandal. What the hell band? La Luz. Okay.
Oh,
Here's my
La Sarah, La Luz.
Lacera. No,
That's
La
like-
Luz. Yeah. Alice Sandal from La Luz will be on this Thursday's podcast. She's awesome.
Awesome.
So
I can't wait to hear
tune
it.
in then, and then we'll talk about her and mostly other random things that happened.
Political. I'll get,
Yeah,
we'll get really into some political stuff, and then
We'll
maybe
get
there will
way
be
in over
some-
our head about subjects we know nothing about, very little about, but have no shortage of opinions to share.
and maybe we'll talk more about cute animal videos too to weigh it out.
Yeah.
Weigh it out.
It's so good. Do you know the Instagram thing? You can have like saved videos. I feel like I've made these playlists, but I want to. Is there a way you can make those public, or you can share those? I feel like you have to start a whole new one if you want to share it.
You could just share them in your stories.
I guess that's it.
That would be interesting to have like a video playlist. I
that's
have
what I have.
multiple folders that I never go look at them either.
Oh,
but I've saved them all.
I show them to the kids before bedtime. It's become my new form of storytelling, the digital storytelling. Or we review the dumb animal videos or boys being boys videos where kids throw rocks at like the ice and it cracks. It makes this really satisfying kind of like web of cracks. All those things. I have a whole collection of videos like that, or marbles going down elaborate Rube Goldberg devices.
Yeah.
We have all of those.
Perfect.
Yeah, we watch like 5.
I send all my good guitar stuff to you.
Yes.
I have my people that I send stuff to every day.
You have
like
photo people, guitar people, music people who would like this. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But I feel like I use it more than that than actually posting stuff. It's more become like an instant messenger style sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple of friends that just send me Star Wars things. And I always have to.
That's great.
Yeah. I don't have to like pretend like I didn't just see them all already myself.
Yeah. Like, ooh, this is a new one.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I know. I have the same Instagram you have. If you saw it, chances are I saw it 10 minutes before you.
Yeah. You're like, I'm way higher on the Star Wars algorithm than you are.
I've spent a lot of time following a lot of dumb accounts.
You're like, and I know the lines before that scene and after that scene too, right?
God. Oh my God. I saw the best Anthony Daniels, the actor who played C-3PO. He was talking to a crowd and do like a Q&A thing. And he's like, does anybody here have the script for A New Hope? And they're like, oh yeah. They all raise their hands. And he's like, what is the line I say after this? And someone said, is like, well, that's what it said in the film, but in the script, it was Captain Wedge Antilles. He was supposed to be the captain, not the princess. And they're just like, oh, C-3PO,
like,
show you down. Exactly. Like he's not even quoting from the movie. He's quoting from the script that got changed before it got shot.
And he still remembers it.
Oh my gosh. Those are the best. Yeah. There's a lot of those kinds of things. Like, Mark Hamill on Johnny Carson's going off on the kind of dialogue he had to say. I really feel like all those actors felt so bad. They had no idea what all these words that were made up. They've just become part of the culture. But at the time when you first read it,
Mark Hamill interviews.
Oh, he's great.
Classics.
Yep. All right, we're out of here. We will see you next Monday. Adios.
All right.